And I want to introduce Lauren Lagner. Lauren is a second-year law student at MSU College of Law. What made you decide to go to law school?
So I actually always wanted to be a lawyer. Coming into undergrad is where I kind of changed my mind. I actually changed my major a bunch of times. But I wanted to come to law school because I wanted to help people. And I had mentioned that I changed my major a bunch of times because coming into undergrad, I kind of came to this point where I was like, well, I want to help people. So that must mean I should go into the medical field. I should be a doctor, a PA, or a nurse, or something like that. So I changed my major for that, but I very quickly realized that the medical field wasn't for me. I didn't like chemistry, didn't like physics, don't like blood, shots, anything of that sort. So then I kind of took a step back and I was like, well, I wanted to be a lawyer at one point. Like, why did I want to be a lawyer and why did I change my mind? And I started thinking about what I wanted. I mean, I really like reading, research, writing, I've always liked the argumentative side of law. I liked public speaking and being able to advocate for somebody else and their needs and wants. And I was like, okay, I don't even know why I ever even changed my major because I mean, law is really everything that I am and everything that I want in a career rolled into one.
Was there anything that surprised you about law school?
Yes, definitely. I would say the biggest surprise is that honestly, there really is nothing like law school. I mean, before law school, I did everything that I thought I could do to prepare. I had an internship, I did moot court, I took a lot of classes that dealt with a lot of research, reading and writing. So coming into law school, I was like, oh, I'm so prepared. I know what I'm getting myself into. I've got this. And I definitely don't want to say that I was unprepared, but law school is definitely not what I was expecting. Coming in, I thought I was going to be doing a lot of real world work because at my internship, I was doing a lot of talking with clients. I was drafting a lot of memos and motions. So coming in, I was like, oh, like I'm going to be learning this stuff that I already know how to do. But it really isn't like that, especially your first year. You're learning you're doing a lot of the grunt work, and you're exposed to a lot of different fields, contracts, property, criminal law, as well as a couple others. And I said that law school is very different than a lot of other academic programs because in law school, they're really kind of retraining your brain. They're molding you into the lawyer that they want you to be. My very first day in my torts class, my professor told us that, you know, forget everything that you've ever learned. Like, we are going to train you to be a lawyer. When you walk out of this class, you won't be the same person that you were when you walked in. And when he said that, I was like, okay, like, what does that even mean? But, you know, 1 year of law school down, and I mean, even a few weeks into my first semester, like I started noticing changes in myself and the way that I thought, the way that I viewed the world. And I mean, to give you an example, with texting and driving, before law school, when I would see somebody texting and driving, it was like, wow, like that is really unsafe. But now when I see somebody texting and driving, it's like, wow, that is a tort. That person is being very negligent.
Do you have any words of advice for our students if they're thinking about law school?
Yes. So there's two things that I wanted to mention. First, so when I was figuring out what I wanted to major in, one of my advisors told me to major in something that I found really interesting, something that I like. And it's one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given because I chose to major in psychology because that's something that I absolutely love, something I find very interesting. If for whatever reason I changed my mind along the way and didn't want to go into law school, I was going to do psychology. And I say that's one of the best pieces of advice because I have met so many phenomenal professors. I've met so many great friends. And because I was majoring in something that I found very interesting, I loved going to school. I loved all of my classes. And if you guys didn't know, you can get into law school with any major. So that's why I say pick something that you really, really like and run with that. My second piece of advice, as cliche as it sounds, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you want in life, just work for it and you can get it. Thinking back on my life, throughout high school, I wasn't somebody that worked very hard. My senior year of high school, and going into college, I kind of surrounded myself with the wrong people, and I really wasn't in the best headspace. And one of the reasons that I actually ended up changing my major and deciding I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore is because I had friends that actually told me that I wouldn't make it as a lawyer, and they didn't think that they couldn't see me as a lawyer. And these are my friends. These are people who are supposed to know me. So I was like, wow, like maybe they're right. So I changed my major. And then one day I woke up and I was like, wow, like this isn't who I am. This isn't who I want to be. So after that, I distanced myself from those friends. And from that moment on, I mean, it was just nose to the grindstone. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be successful. So I was going to be successful. I worked harder than I ever have in my entire life. I earned a 4.0 for the majority of my semesters throughout undergrad. I graduated with a near perfect GPA. I had multiple awards. And then applying to law school right now at MSU, I'm on a near full ride. And I'm not sitting here telling you all of this to brag about myself, but I just want to show you guys that, I mean, I'm a firm believer that if you want something, I mean, work for it and you can get it. Like I said, it's cliche, but believe in yourself and work for what you want and you will be successful.
So I really appreciate you telling us about your experience and where you've gone in life.